It's a handsome looking guitar, there's no doubt about it. But it's expensive, isn't it? Your expectations are up there. You're going, crikey, this must sound really good. I'm always slightly disappointed when I play Les Pauls. These controls don't work very well, and this is really disappointing. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what they're thinking. Am I giving myself a hard time? Am I giving the guitar a hard time? Tell me what it is I'm doing wrong. What have I missed? Hello, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Guitaristas. So this week, we're finally getting round to the Maybach Leicester 58. This came second in our recent poll in which guitar you wanted me to review first. This came second to the new Epiphone USA Coronet. And then last week, of course, I did the Fasley, which came last. So slightly out of order, but I've decided to do this week. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at it. Let's have another look. It's a looker, isn't it? It's a beautiful looking guitar. So Leicester 58, this colour they call Cherry Lane, and it's aged quite subtly. We'll have a closer look at that in a minute, but feast your eyes on that. Yeah, it's a handsome looking guitar. There's no doubt about it. Now these Maybachs, of course, well, they're not cheap, are they? This is around about £2,000. I actually paid a little bit less than this. I got a deal from my friends in Denmark Street, Rose Morris. They were a Maybach dealer for 10 minutes back a couple of months ago, and they had this in. First of all, they lent it to me. They said, "Oh, check it out," because I thought, well, I wanted to do a comparison with the Gibson Les Paul Standard and the Eastman that I've got and the Tokai that I've got and something else we'll talk about another time. And I thought, well, I can't be spending £2,000 on numerous guitars because it would take me forever to earn that back out of several films here on YouTube. So first off, and I've never done this before, I buy all my guitars here on YouTube. Always. But I thought, you know what, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and find a way of doing it. So the guys at Rose Morris in Denmark Street, there's a little plug for them again, I reached out to them and I said, look, you got this handsome looking Maybach 58 Leicester, aged Cherry Lane. Yeah. What do you reckon? So they said, yeah, no problem. And literally next day it arrived with no strings attached at all. They said, check it out. I said, I might buy it. You never know. Anyway, it's been sitting here for months because I couldn't bring myself to actually review a guitar that I didn't own. And I was in turmoil. I was in turmoil because it's not my thing, is it? My USP here on the Guitaristas is that I've got my own skin in the game. Everything that I review, I've paid actual money for. Yeah, my money. And that's really, it's not just about being able to be truthful about it, because I know there are loads of guys on YouTube that earn money from getting paid for doing reviews and getting free guitars and stuff from people, and and I'm not saying that they're not honest in their opinions. It's not about that. It's just about me and feeling that I don't think I could be entirely honest if if I didn't actually own the guitar. So where's this going? Well, so after sitting here for a couple of months and after me having several conversations with them about what I was going to do with it, I said, do you know what? Let me just fucking buy it off you. And then I'll just do whatever I feel like. So they said, fair enough. And they gave me a little bit of a discount and I bought it. So I paid in the region of 1,600 English pounds for this. So Mike, guys at Rose Morris in Denmark Street, thank you for looking after us. And I don't feel in any way like a paid shill. So there you go. Right, so these guitars, about £2,000. That's what you'd have to pay for them. Thomann have got them. There are places all over Europe that have got them. They cost about £2,000 new. You can get them a little bit cheaper, but it's expensive, isn't it? So this film's about, are they that good? And why would anyone pay £2,000 for a knockoff? As attractive as it might be. Well, what we're going to do today is hopefully find out. I'm going to do a deep dive review of this guitar. We're going to take it apart. We're going to do all the weights and measures, and then we're going to play it and see what it sounds like, see if it all works. So I've already been rabbiting for quite a while, haven't I? So if you're new to the channel, there are timestamps in the description box. You could have already skipped forward to, you know, what the bits that interest you, let's say. And so you can still do that. Hear what it sounds like or whatever. Hear what I think of it at the end. Blah, blah, blah. If, however, you got a little bit of time on your hands, go make yourself a nice cup of tea or get something maybe a little bit stronger. Get some snacks, some nibbles, breakfast, whatever, wherever you are, whatever time it is, whatever you feel like doing while you chill out and join us as we take a closer look at the Maybach Leicester 58 aged Cherry Lane. Let's do it. It's made of mahogany, this. Here you go, you can see it's got a two-piece mahogany body and a mahogany neck and a maple cap, proper maple cap. There's no veneer on this. Now, Maybach are very particular on their website about the tonewoods. You know, they're stating that basically where they use maple, it's of European or North American origin. So it's probably a Canadian maple cap. Where they use African or Indian tonewoods, they're stating that it's sustainably sourced. You know, they're big on the sustainability, making sure it's sustainably sourced. The mahogany they say they are using is either Kaya mahogany or a Kume, okay, which we know, or we do know as being lightweight. So at that point, let's get on and weigh it. Here we go. It's £8 1 ounce, or 3.67 kilos. I knew this was really lightweight. It's a fantastic weight for a Leicester. Let's talk about the aging. This is what I would call lightly aged and decently aged, actually. It's not over the top. You won't be able to see a lot of it. It's got some very subtle crazing here. I'll drop in some B-roll in here so you can hopefully see some of this. Just as the light catches it, you can see crazing there. Just the odd, you know, little mark. Nothing really on the neck at all. Little bit of scuffing maybe. Some crazing here and there, and just a little bit of scuffing and some fairly subtle dinging around the edge. That's probably the bit that you can see more than anything. So I mean, it's a nice it's a nice relic job. It just actually looks like a fairly old used guitar. It's not over the top at all. I like it. Yeah, I'm buying it 100%. Okay, so that's that. That's that. What we didn't talk about was the fingerboard. It's an Indian rosewood fingerboard. We'll have a closer look at that in a second when we get the strings off. But you can see that there. That looks very nice. Indian rosewood, sustainably sourced, apparently. It's got they call it a 50s vintage neck. It's a bit of a U. It's quite chunky. Let's have a look at the neck profile and measurements on the screen now. Okay, here's the neck profile and measurements at the 1st fret. And here's the neck profile and measurements at the 12th fret. It's pretty chunky. It's definitely a sort of a U shape to it. I think you'll either love it or hate it until you get used to it, and then you'll probably love it like me. I do love it, but you notice it if you've been playing something with a slim neck. If I've been playing my Gibson Les Paul Standard, which is meant to be a 50s neck, but it definitely isn't, and then pick this up, there's a big difference. I'm not sure which one I prefer at this point. We're going to compare them in due course, and we'll go through all that and we'll find out. But for now, if you like a chunky old neck, yeah, this is definitely for you. There you go. Hardware. It's got, this is the Larson peg head, incidentally, and it's got a Japanese Goto Cluson style vintage tuners with lovely soft edged buttons, sorry, they're not knobs, they're buttons. These are knobs, these are the, what they call, amber top hat knobs. We'll look under there in a bit. It's got a switchcraft 3-way switch. It's got Goto hardware. Oh, blimey, that's light. There you go, Goto Japan. Let's just weigh it. It is 27 grams. There you go. This, I believe, is also Goto, Japanese-made, a Nashville-style tunermatic, okay? Nashville tunermatic. Nothing special about that. Connected to the body by the press-in metal bushings, exactly the same as you would see on the Gibson Les Paul Standard. There you go. I don't know if you could see that, but there's not a lot of adjustment left in them if you wanted to lower the action. It's pretty close to the bottom. There's a gnats left. Not that I need to, because the action and playability was absolutely fine. So I'm not, I'm just saying if you wanted uber low action, might be a problem. Yeah, might need to tweak it elsewhere to get something that you were comfortable with. For me, though, it was absolutely fine. So there you go. Let's look at the fingerboard and frets again now. Let's have a close-up look. Chunky Wagner medium jumbo frets. I think Wagner might be the make. Not sure, but they're super well appointed. It's been plecked, this guitar, I know that from the label in the case, but it also has been finished nicely. I say that because my Maybach Leicester 54 hadn't been finished nicely. This one has been. I think that was just an anomaly. This is great, lovely frets, nice shape, nice size, nice finish. And what a beautiful fingerboard. There you go. That's that. Okay, let's move on. Let's take some pickup readings. Here we go. Bridge pickup first, 8.12 kilo ohms. And the inductance of that is, 4.58 Henrys. And onto the neck pickup. I can't see what I'm doing, my wire's in the way. It's just over 7K. And 3.96 Henrys. And let's just take a middle reading, because we can. 3.76 kilo ohms. That's that. pickguard off. Let's see what it looks like underneath there, shall we? Wow. Pickguard on or off? Right, pickups. Let's have a look at this long neck tenon. Apparently, I didn't mention that. Let's see if they're telling the truth. Here we go. Let's see if I've got any room. Here you go. Oh, good, I could get them both out. Flip them both. Amber Spirit of 59 pickups, rhythm, treble, real nice, neat routing, really nice and clean. There's a long neck tenon, you can see that there. Just going to drop in a couple of close-ups you can see inside these routings. You can see this really nice chunky maple cap there very clearly. Shall we show you that? Really nice and tidy, isn't it? Yeah, really nice and tidy. Okay, let's put these back. If I can remember which way round they go. Okay, and here's the inside of the control cavity. There you go, it's got plenty of shielding on the back of there and fully shielded inside with this copper tape. And volume and tone pots are different. They're CTS pots, I can see that. Got tiny little Sputnik capacitors, 0.47 caps it says in the specs. But I think that, like the 54 Leicester that I did, I think that we've maybe got audio taper for the volume and linear for the tone. And I think that's why they look different. You can see that. They're different style. I'm hoping that these work better on this 58 than they did on the 54 because they weren't very good on that. You can feel the difference as well straight away. The volume knobs are much stiffer. There's more resistance. That's what I was trying to say before. There's hardly any resistance on the tones. So what we'll have to do is put the strings back on and have a listen and find out. Before we do that, it's one other thing. There you go, just to confirm, it's got the hex key style truss rod adjuster and it's got a dual action truss rod, I understand. There you go. Let's put it all back together, put some new strings on and plug it in, see what it sounds like. See you in a minute. New set of Ernie Ball regular slinkies. This is what it sounds like unplugged. It's got a nice snap to it. They say you can tell what a guitar's going to sound like plugged in from its unplugged sound, don't they? Well, some people do. You've heard that, haven't you? You've heard that, haven't you? I go, oh yeah, I could hear it before I plugged it in. It's going to be good. What do you reckon? Is it going to be good? I mean, it should be, shouldn't it? Let's find out. Same rig as always, Princeton 65. So exactly the same rig as I used last week on the Fasley, the £89 Fasley. So that should be, if you want to actually compare a £2,000 guitar with a £89 guitar, you can find a way of check out last week's video after you've heard this. Anyway, sorry, I'm rabbiting. Yeah, same rig as always, same pedals, Soul Food and the Rat, and I'll show you if I use them. Okay, we'll see what happens. as always, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the volumes backed right off to kind of 5, about halfway, because I've been mucking around and it's quite feisty. Obviously humbuckers, you know, they are, aren't they? And Leicesters are feisty. So let's see if I can show you what it sounds like. Yeah, it's a challenge. Here we go. Let's just stop there for a second. I was getting carried away, sorry about that. Let's have a look at the volume and tone controls, because I have concerns. Okay, yeah. So fully rolled on the bridge. It does work. And the neck. Can you hear? You lose a lot of top as soon as you roll it off. not great. I mean, it does. Cleans up, so. On about half. But that's pretty much all it does. Tone. So first, the first thing, look at my floppy knob. Sorry, I can't help it. You know, I wouldn't say this sort of thing in public, don't you? I'm only doing it for a laugh because, you know, with me mates. Look, I've got a floppy knob today. Look at that. Like, compared to the volume. Can you see that? There's hardly any resistance, and it's all the same with that one. So they're very different, the feel of these. Let's see if it works. Cool, it's really, you just knock it and it's... The neck. It's just like a switch. It's the same as the other Maybach Leicester I've got, the 54. They're exactly the same, and they're not. I don't know if I'm just doing something wrong, but I expect this to be really versatile here. You know, the idea of a good Les Paul, the controls, is you can kind of really blend, you know, various things, and this hasn't really got that. So I'm either getting something wrong or these are a bit shit. So yeah, apart from that, it sounds pretty good, doesn't it? But that's obviously fully cranked. Let's put another little groove down. So there you have it. That's what we did this week. Did it sound okay? Did it sound good? I don't know. You have to let me know. I think it sounded okay. I've come to the realisation, or I'm coming to the realisation, that Les Pauls, Leicesters, shall we say, I think they really need to be cranked, really cranked, to get the sound that we're all looking for from the Les Paul. If you think about those, you know, the iconic players. Okay, so this week I was listening to a little bit of Gary Moore live in Montreux. Fucking hell, what a great sound. What an amazing sound. And, all right, what an amazing player as well. But that Les Paul, I think he was playing Greenie there. He just sounds fabulous, but it's really cranked. And obviously all those players, you know, Pagey and the Reverend. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of all those famous, brilliant Les Paul. You know, all the ones, the sounds that we have in our head of a Les Paul, what a Les Paul should sound like, it's always cranked, isn't it? I can't do that justice with a really here with the levels that my ears will cope with anyway, and obviously I'm not a fabulous player either. But what I'm saying is, I'm always slightly disappointed when I play Les Pauls because I never get the sound that I want. Really, it always sounds a bit. That's all right, you know, but you expect certainly a guitar at this level to be, oh, that's it, the Holy Grail. And I never get it. And it makes me wonder if I really even like Lester's that much. I mean, I don't actually think I do, to be honest with you. I've gone on record in the past as saying, you know, I'm not really a big fan of Lester's. I'm going to call them Lester's because I've only actually got one Les Paul here. The rest are all knockoffs. Yeah, I mean, I've got into this whole thing of demoing them and reviewing them, and I've sort of accepted them into my life, but I never really was a huge fan. I mean, obviously, what I did notice from watching that stuff that I just played is that I need to practice more because I'm trying to do stuff that, you know, I'm not really that good at them. You know, I need to practice my cross picking. So last night, in fact, I'm at home catching up with Curse of Oak Island, you know, sitting in bed, and I picked up my SG, and I'm just, you know, just practicing, you know, for about 2 hours while they recap. Just, you know, just trying to, and I think, well, why don't, this is a brilliant guitar because it's just so easy to play. It's so comfortable, you know, not just the upper fret access, but yeah, the upper fret access. Whereas with the Lesters, you're constantly fighting it. And as I said earlier, they're really feisty, you know, it's like, I used to feel, I'm not going to compare this to the R8 that I used to have, because the R8 was better. Mainly because the controls all worked really well, and these controls don't work very well, and this is really disappointing. Actually, let's get onto this guitar. This is really disappointing because as a, you know, it actually, all right, it looks great. What a wonderful piece of furniture this guitar is. It's got its quality. I can't really speak for the pickups because, you know, it's part of the overall package, isn't it? You know, the rig. I don't know what the pickups would sound like if I could crank it through a Marshall, you know, on a big stage. But what I do know and what I can say is categorically these controls are not very good, and I think it's surprising that Maybach, you know, making such a great guitar, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what they're thinking. And it is the same on the Maybach 54 that I've got. I think they need to sort it out. Or tell me what it is I'm doing wrong. What have I missed? You know, I'm quite happy to be corrected if I've fucking missed the point or something. But as far as I'm concerned, I've got far less expensive guitars that the controls work really well. I've had some cheap Epi. I'm not talking about the expensive Epiphones. The cheap Epiphones, the £400 ones. Some of them, the controls are great. And this has got modern wiring. Why hasn't it got 50s wiring? Why hasn't it got, you know, decent caps, decent pots, and 50s wiring? And that would make it a brilliant package because apart from that, I mean, I think it's a fantastic guitar. And I think that the Maybach brand has got enough cachet to kind of override the fact that it's not actually a Gibson. There's a lot of people that would be far prouder to own this Maybach than they would the real thing, even though it's broadly a similar price. We're going to obviously get into the comparison soon. I'll talk about that in a second. Is there anything else that I need to cover first? Because I've been blathering, stream of consciousness again today, I'm afraid. Yeah, don't like that. I pretty much love everything else about it. Sound-wise, I did the best I could today. I'd say I was underwhelmed with my performance and what I managed to coax from this guitar today via my playing and via the rig that I'm using. I said last week when we reviewed the cheap Fasley, I find it so much easier because you have very low expectations. So you can plug it in, and if you get a half decent sound, you go, oh, that sounds good. And that's true, isn't it? Although, I would say it did sound good last week. This week, it's a kettle of fish. That's a saying. It's a different kettle of fish because your expectations are up there. You're going, crikey, this must sound really good. So it's then kind of quite hard to judge whether or not it does. I don't know. So, as always, you have to let me know because that's what matters, isn't it? Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Am I giving myself a hard time? Am I giving the guitar a hard time? Do you think it sounded great? Do you think it sounded a bit there? Let me know. Let me know, as always. Let's see. Let's look at my notes, see what I haven't covered, because I did make some notes, and I didn't look at them until now, did I? I just went, blah! Did it sound da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da? Yeah. I've covered everything on that list. The only thing I'm going to say as well to add to it is I've said, yeah, the realisation I'm not a big Leicester fan, which doesn't bode well because we've got some more to get through. So this was purchased as part of a series that I want to do. So we've reviewed now. Right, let's just recap. Which ones have I got that we've reviewed? Let's start here. Do you remember this? We'll call it a Leicester, but it's an Eastman SB59V. And in no particular order, we got the Tokai, didn't we? Japanese ULS 129 violin burst. Oh. And of course, we got the Gibson Les Paul Standard 50s. We've now reviewed the Maybach Leicester 58. And what's this, I hear you ask? Coming soon. You won't know about this unless you subscribe to the TV channel. We have got a Heritage H150. Look at that. So this Leicester Skeptic is now, not now, but next, but not next, probably in a few weeks. I haven't decided when yet, but I'm going to review the Heritage H150 that I've bought. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to that because I think it's a good one. And then once I've reviewed that, we're going to do a big old comparison of these, what's that, five Leicesters, including the real thing, not that, the real thing. And that'll be fun, won't it? What I'm planning on doing there is probably sticking them all on the bench side by side 1 week, going through all the specs so you can look at all the necks and pick up readings and stuff, and we'll talk about them, feel and stuff, prices and all that. And then I'm going to do a major playing comparison, and I'll try and practice for that one, okay? And do something so that we can hear them all side by side, doing the same thing. So that's coming up, but that won't be for a little. Well, it'll be, you know, over the next couple of months. We'll probably give Leicester's a break for a couple of weeks now, and get on to something else. I've got a couple of guitars lined up for review, as you know, or as you might know, if you've been watching and if you've been paying attention. I haven't decided what I'm going to do next week. This is the end of this one for this week. Thanks for watching. As always, come back next week, same time, same place, and we should be here, and we'll be doing something else. So I'll see you then, I hope. All right. Cheers for now. Ta-da.